This is a book chance response video. Well, sort of, to negative versus positive reviews by Eric Karl Anderson, which is it's more of a kind of a bouncing off his really wonderful kind of wide-ranging discussion, which I really enjoyed and I listened to a couple of times. And there's just so much there, so much great stuff. But I'm just gonna kind of give you a little bit of my own response, my own kind of experience to kind of point how I view kind of negative versus positive reviews, and what I think is ultimately the real value of negative reviews, both for readers and for writers. Um, Sort of my basic thing being, a negative review in the sense of people giving their honest response to a book, good or ill. Hopefully, putting as much thought into it as possible, but bringing their own crap to it, bringing their own experience, bringing their own time and context, and that may not be fair to the author on an individual scale, but that hopefully, when you get everybody together, when you get a whole ton of voices, that actually will bring a bring a bring in bring a true sense of what that text is going to end up being, that interplay between the wide audience and the text. And so I think we're fortunate nowadays that we have there is such a wide response. It's not going to be like one book reviewer in one newspaper is going to make a book live or die. That's wonderfully not the case anymore. So I think people who focus on just like a single review being negative, uh, that's not the thing. Now, if 95% of the reviews are negative, well, then maybe that book isn't going to be there. Or if nobody reviews it, that's even worse. It gets launched out and it drops back into the ocean, and it's like it was never there, which is, I think, must be even sadder for an author. I would think so, as someone who's in the sea of YouTube at the moment myself. But I just want to like give what I think is my cautionary tale to all this. I grew up when I was like kind of a starting out reader, a new reader in the 80s, in the 1980s, kind of pre-internet. It's like I got all my reviews of kind of fiction, because I'm Canadian guy here, from like the Globe and Mail. And I'd go into their book section. I'd read all the reviews of all the books, and for the most part, I think I could get fairly good reviews of foreign books in within the pages. They tell it like, is this something worth reading or not? Is it interesting or not? Um, but the problem was when you went to the Canadian literature, everything was great, or it was good. It was good. It was they described scenery really good. There was they at the especially a beginning review reader, I wasn't able to kind of pick up the subtle cues of, I'm not going to say anything negative about this book, but I'm going to kind of hedge my words and focus on the positive. And I would miss that, and I would actually go out and try the books, and it'd be like, the reviewer said this was like a good book, and this book is boring, and it's just sucks. And it became to the point where it's like there wasn't any guide, especially as a pre-internet guy who, basically I was waiting for the internet to be born, because I wasn't going to ask a librarian. I wasn't going to talk to people. Oh my God, talk to people. I was a shy little teen boy. I wasn't going to actually talk to people about books, about what are good books to read. There wasn't really any guide for what's to read. And you find like within Canada, because it's such the small circle, it was hard to find reviewers who were willing to be negative, who are willing to piss off people that they were, especially since it's not only, it's like Canada's a small pool, but it's probably like Toronto little small pool where everyone was, or like, little small pools in each thing, and people are, like, I'm going to bump into the author of the whose book I said, like, wow, that was a sexist, idiotic book that wasn't, they didn't spell anything right in it, and the grammar was all terrible, and they should go back to wherever they live. There wasn't a willingness to do that, but as a result, there's this perception of Canadian literature is just like, yeah, it's oatmeal. It's, which is silly. There's plenty of wonderful stuff, but it was very hard to be able to find that stuff, because there wasn't those critical, there wasn't that conversation to say, hey, this is great, or no, that was terrible, and this was great. No, and there's no, like, kind of that rough and tumble that pushes the great stuff to the top, that pushes it into your attention of, you cannot ignore this because this is an amazing book. There wasn't that. There was like, everything's fine, everything's okay. And that was bad for readers, but that was also bad for authors, because it became one of these, well, hey, the Americans, they're having an amazing conversation about books, and oh, look, the Brits, they're just savage about each other, and oh, that book, wow, everyone's disagreeing about that book, let's read that book. Versus what felt to me as some little dude in interior BC who's like, oh, Canadian books, they're kind of boring. Which is like, and that came from, let's have everything positive. Which is why I think it does a real service to a writer to have that argument, to have that conversation, and to have faith in their work, that if it truly has something, you're going to have champions to put out arguments on the other side of people who are trying to tear your book down because they had an unhappy love affair the day before, or they never liked ice fishermen, and therefore they're going to diss your book. It's like, no, there's other people who don't have that. There's enough people out there who will look at the book and say, yeah, this is an amazing book. So yeah, it's my kind of cautionary tale of, if everything's positive, then there isn't that vigor, there isn't that that battle of readers, battle of writers, that, and not even a battle, it's like, it's a collaboration of the reader and the writer to make that book. And you need both, and you need the negative, and you need the positive to bring up stuff. And thank you, Eric Karl Anderson. That was a really amazing little discussion video, and it definitely it brought that memory up to me of being, looking through the review pages in a newspaper and going, I can't trust these people because they're all positive. It's all just blah. It's like, I missed great books because of that. I'm probably still missing out on Canadian literature. Canadians have this very odd thing of, we don't trust that something's good in this country unless it's gone somewhere else and proved itself. And a part of the reason that is because if they go somewhere else, we know that they're not going to get coddled there. They're going to get tested. And I think the more there's, and this is, I've been out of, for all I know, Canada actually does have that more vigorous discussion now, but I've been out of it for such a long time. I sort of, I get a lot of my lit stuff, I think, from the United States or from Britain, and certainly the science fiction and fantasy is much more of a conversation that's within an international conversation of genre, where you don't even think about particularly national identity. And I have a tendency to roll my eyes when I see the little Canadian flags on things. It's like, it's almost sad to say. I almost see it as I see it as a negative, like, oh, it's Canadian, so how good can it be? Because but that's the legacy of everything being, oh, it's all good. Then it's like, if it's all good, then yeah, none of it is good, and it's kind of boring. And I would I would hate for writing to be for novel for our literature to be boring, and I know it isn't. And so yes, let's bring on the fight, because that's the way good books are discovered, and that's the way not so good books are discarded and fall away, which is unfortunately, that's the fate of everything, including mediocre booktubers as well. So hurrah for obscurity! Bye for now, booktube. More videos later.